and raised in Australia, and I lived in a steel town called Newcastle, and I was studying tap and Highland dancing with a little local teacher. And my dad had been in vaudeville for many years, but he was no longer in it. He stayed home and watched the racehorses and the cricket and things like that. My mom used to smuggle me out of the door at the side of the house to go to dance class. And my dad opened the window one day. He said, "Where the hell are you two going?" And Mom said, "Well, I'm taking the dance class." He said, "Dance class? What the hell are you going to dance class for?" So anyway, when I got home from the class, he said, "Show me what you're learning." So I showed him. He said, "It's crap. That's no good. Get yourself a good teacher." He said, "No, I've heard of the guy." And he said, his name's Leslie Griffiths. And he was the choreographer of Tap Dogs, the show that came from Australia. And I worked with, he was my teacher for, a good year anyway. And then my dad said, "No, it's time for you to go down to Sydney and study with some better teachers." And so I'd get on a train on a Saturday morning around 6 or 7. And the train trip took about an hour and a half. I get off at Grand Station and then go to class. I had 3 classes as a rule a day. Plus I was taking an acrobatic class in the afternoon. And I had booking agents. I had about 5 agents. They booked you in clubs and nightclubs and legions and taxi clubs. And everyone had a club at that time. But anyway, I had several different acts, and they booked me into all these different things. And they all had slot machines. And, well, being Australian, gambling was one of my weaknesses. So I always used to gamble half away the money I earned. My dad wrote a note. He said, "Here, keep this note in your pocket, and you give it to every club you pay. Read it." He says, "Don't pay the kid till after the gig." And that was the end of my playing the slot machines, because no one paid me until I was on my way out the door. But there were good days. My dad made me a case. It looked like a large luggage case, but it was steps. And you opened it up. You had 1, 2, 3 steps, and I could tap dance on it. And I don't sail away to paradise and slide down to that, all that. And the only steady gig I had in Newcastle was at the stadium, and it seated like 3,000 people, had a tin roof. Every time it rained, it sounded like hail banging on the thing. And the first half of the bill was vaudeville. The second half was wrestling. And I played there about half a dozen times. And I had a bamboo tap mat. And they say, "Here he is." My name then wasn't Ainslie. That was my dad's showbiz name. He made me change it later. "Here he is, Bob Quinn. Let's hear it for Bob Quinn." So I'd come running down towards the wrestling ring, and some guy had opened the ropes. I'd get in there, and I'd roll down the bamboo tap mat. And if you've ever tried to tap on a bamboo tap mat on a wrestling rink, it's a challenge. And I had an acrobatic tap number. Well, if I did a backflip, I wouldn't come down for 3 minutes. Boing. And I had monologues and all sorts of stuff like that. But all you'd see were glowing cigarette butts all through the audience, And half my high school was there, "Hey, Quinny! Quinny!" But anyway, my dad used to build the staircases. My mom used to make my performing outfit, a tuxedo. And instead of having a nice white shirt with French cuffs, she said, "That's going to be too hot, dear." She said, "I'm going to attach the French cuffs to the tux." And they were lovely. They had nice black onyx cuffs in them and everything else. And the dicky front. she said, no, you just need the dickie, you don't need the rest of it. So she put a rope or a ribbon around my neck and one around here. So it was a dickie with the bow tie. You know, I could get undressed in a minute. but my dear mum, she made me a swimsuit when we were living in Sydney. And there was a saltwater pool about 2 bays over. We lived near the Opera House, or where the Opera House is now, and Sydney Opera House. And anyway, I dive in. She made me these shorts for swimming in, and they had like a Hawaiian palm leaves and all sorts of stuff, and a matching shirt. So anyway, I thought, okay, I'll get in there, and I get in there, and I'm swimming around, and I go to, it's a straight ladder like that to get out. I go like this, the ass rips tightly open. My ass is hanging out like this. I can't get the material back together, and I'm trying to climb the ladder with my ass hanging out of my new swimsuit. And I had to walk home with my ass hanging out like that. Oh, fun, you know. And I won, I didn't win, but I always came second, I don't know why, in dance steps, like waltz tap, jazz tap, acrobatic tap. I never came second. You know, but I've still got the medals. I'm going to hawk them, see how much I can get for them.